Has Arik Armstead silenced his critics? What do you think?
Grant, I don't know. You were one of them.
I'm the
Are
critic.
you
All right,
silenced?
here's the way I look at it. He's had 5.5 sacks in his last 3 games, and all of them have been clutch, like game-winning, gotta have it sacks. And I give him all the credit in the world for that. He's been the Niners MVP the last 3 games, or right there. You can't say anyone's been more important than him the last 3 games. And that was, it was like in LA, season on the line, gotta have it or you're out. You don't make the playoffs. He had the sack on 3rd and 1 that when they were down 17-0 that changed the whole momentum of the game. He saved the season. And then he did it again in Dallas. And then he did it again in Green Bay. It's phenomenal. And to the point, I don't even know if I've ever seen Buckner take over like this over a 3-game stretch. It's just freaking unreal. But I want to just remind people what my criticism was of Arik Armstead. I never said he was bad at football. He was great in 2019. We all saw that. My thing was that I feel like he turns the switch on and off. He did nothing the first 4 years of his career, and then he got a contract year, and boom, he's a force. And then 2020, nowhere. He played, but he didn't make an impact. And then this year, he made really no impact. He was a good run defender, but he couldn't fill out the stat sheet until week 18. That dude went on like a 28-game streak since getting his extension of really not being an impact player, and then boom, the Niners need him to step up. He steps up. So I would just like to see him just keep playing like this. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a sack a game. Of course not. But he doesn't finish plays consistently. He'll give a good initial effort. He'll show that he's stronger. He'll manhandle the guy a little bit, but he won't finish the play. He's finishing plays. Can you continue to finish the plays? That's all I'm asking, because you clearly have it in you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's taken over like Buckner never did. But I actually got into a back and forth the other day with someone about Arik Armstead, and somebody said that I basically was dogging on him, and I'm like, I had to remind them, no, I'm just not willing, regardless of the player, for people to just outright tell lies and get away with it. Because the way that I see it is, PFF early on in the season was saying that this guy was having 13 pressures a game. And I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not. Here's the video right here. Here's every single snap. Show me where he got anywhere near 13 pressures. Yeah. That is not an indictment on him. What I was saying was he's not playing near as good as what people want to sell him. I'm an Oregon Duck fan. Like, I've known about Arik Armstead before anybody in this fan base that was not a Duck fan knew about Arik Armstead and Buckner. So I like Arik Armstead, but I'm also not willing to just let people heap crazy praise on these players that is not deserved for anybody. Like, if it's not true, it's not true. And so I'm going to call it out. That's all it is. But yeah, if there were critics, 1000%, he's had to have silenced them.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't think 3 good games in a row silences your critics. Like, you signed a 5-year, $85 million deal, and you've had 3 tremendous games in a row, but you haven't won the Super Bowl yet. The season isn't over. Keep going, Arik. Like, if he did nothing, if he reverted, let's go Arik A and Arik B. Arik A is the Arik we usually see. Arik B is when he's motivated, like for a contract or a Super Bowl. If Arik B continues to play, great. I give hats off. Yes, you've silenced your critics. And he's a big reason the Niners win a Super Bowl, then he'll be a legend forever, and it won't really matter if he reverts next year. But if he just happens to revert this week or next week, then thanks for 4 games, I guess. Can you do it more next year and maybe win the Super Bowl? I don't know. That's the way I look at it. I don't think he's silenced anything. I think he's on the way. You got to keep going, dude. You got to keep going.
I'm going to give a little bit of pushback on just the 4 games, because that run defense has completely changed since he kicked to the inside. Like, he's just now getting the sacks, and the numbers are showing up and the impact is showing up. But that run defense has been completely different since Kinlaw left and he was inserted.
He was a really good run defender as an end too. Maybe he helps the team more being inside, but he was always making an impact against the run. But that's not why they gave you $85 million. They gave you $85 million. That's pass rusher money. And he just hasn't been he had very few quarterback hits deep into the season. And then all of a sudden he's freaking, he's not quite Aaron Donald, but he's like Chris Jones or something. Like, oh, okay. Well, that's great. You should do that again. And you got to do that again this week against the Rams. You did it against them a few weeks ago. They have no one good in the interior. Bully him, man. Like, you can't, we all know you can't do it again.
Also, to be fair, I think there's this weird thought out there that once you say something about a player or you feel a certain way in a certain moment that you always have to own that. And if it doesn't work out the way that you said always, like in your face. To be fair, where was Arik Armstead in 2020? What was
Where
he
was he
doing in
until week
2020?
18? I mean, I know his run defense was nice. It was always good, but like, where was this? Where
But
was this?
he had a whole season where he
They had to tell
was
him, "Hey, our
almost zero
season's on the
impact.
line, Eric." He was like, "Oh, word, it is? Okay, I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. I got you." Word? It came to that? Okay. Just
How
tell
many
him to
sacks did he
get
have in
over
2020? Like three and a half.
3. Yeah. How many
You're
sacks
getting
did he
paid.
have until
Come on.
I mean, if this season was a 16 game season instead of a 17 game season, he would have finished this year with 3.5 sacks. So I mean, this is all very new. It's great. It's great. But it's only worth $85 million if it ends with the Super Bowl victory.
Yeah, I guess, I just want my point is like people reserve the right to change their mind based off of what they're seeing in that moment because you say something in one moment doesn't make it not true when that player changes how they're playing in a later moment, right?
Yeah. My only point is that I don't think he's shown us anything he hasn't shown us before. He's played like this before. He did this in 2019. He's a hell of a player. He's a force when he wants to be.
Mm.
So I just want him to be one. I want him to want to be one more often. I don't want it to have to be because,
That's fair.
like, you got something to gain or that something's on the line. Like, that should be every week. That's how Buckner was. So it seems to me that if Armstead had Buckner's mentality, Armstead would be better than Buckner. He's stronger. He's more physical. But I don't know. He's like Ferdinand the Bull. He has to have a reason. He has to have a reason to do it. So he's got the reason now.